Hello everyone. I'm Helen from Susan's family. Today, I'll show you a Mexican tile lace blanket. Now, let's get started. The blanket is made up of individual motifs connected together. There are 3 different motifs. I'll refer to them as Motif 1, Motif 2, and Motif 3. Each type of motif comes in 2 color schemes, solid and multicolor. First, crochet a complete motif. For the remaining motifs, work and join as you go. After completing, crochet and edging around it. Finally, attach buttons as needed. For easier explanation, I will describe the process row by row. Start by crocheting and joining the motifs in the first row. These include all 3 types of motifs. There are no specific requirements for the placement of the motifs when joining. Just make sure the solid colored motifs are staggered. And stagger the motifs with identical flower patterns in the colored motifs. Next, I will follow the numbering order of the motifs. First, I will demonstrate a complete motif 1. Then, I will demonstrate the other 2 types of motifs separately, as well as the joining method for the first row of motifs. After learning the technique, you can freely adjust the placement of the motifs according to your preference. In addition to the main color yarn, which is used for crocheting the edging, you should reserve about half a skein, which will be used for the edging later. The remaining colored yarns should be used evenly when crocheting the colored motifs and can be matched randomly. The number of motifs can also be adjusted based on the remaining yarn quantity and your needs. Note, if you add a lot of motifs, it's recommended to reserve more yarn for the edging. Let's start by learning the motif 1. The crochet method for the solid color and the colored motif 1 is the same. But for the colored motif 1, there are slight differences in the beginning and end when changing colors. The motif starts with a magic ring and is crocheted outwards in rounds counterclockwise. It uses a variety of stitches, all of which are marked in the chart. I won't go through each one here. Please watch as I demonstrate. To make it easier to see, I will use thicker yarn for this demonstration. The colors are random. For specific yarn details, color choices, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the chart. Let's start with the magic ring. Pick up the yarn with your right hand and wrap it twice around your left index finger. Now there are 3 strands of yarn on your left index finger. Use your right thumb and index finger to pinch where the loops overlap and take it out. Then wrap the yarn tail once around your left little finger. Pass it through between your index and middle fingers. And transfer the loop to between your left middle finger and thumb. Pick up the hook with your right hand and move the hook between these 2 points, inserting it into the loop. The hook is on the left side of the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Draw the yarn through. There is 1 loop on the hook. Crochet a chain to secure. Yarn over. Pull the yarn through the loop on your hook. 1 chain is completed. The magic ring is now complete. Begin with the first round. Start with a chain as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This chain does not count as a stitch. Then work the single crochets into the ring. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. There are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and draw through all the loops on your hook in once. 1 single crochet is now completed. At the top right of the single crochet, there is a V-shaped loop. This is the stitch of a single crochet. One V-shaped loop represents one stitch. Continue working single crochets. Insert into the magic ring. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. And draw through both loops on your hook in once. The second single crochet is now completed. You need to work a total of 8 single crochets in the first round. Continue to complete the remaining single crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After that, close the magic ring. Move the completed section back a bit. There are 2 loops here. Gently pull the starting tail first. You can see one of the loops is movable. Tighten the movable loop. One loop remains. Pull tight the starting tail again. This way, the loops are secured. Next, continue working on this round. In the first single crochet, finish with a slip stitch. This is the second braid from the left side of the yarn tail. 1, 2. It's this large braid. If you can't tell for sure, you can also count back from the last stitch. It's still this braid. Insert. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. And pull through all loops on the hook once. To complete the slip stitch. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. The slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch. You need to pull tight. Like this, the first round is completed. Continue crocheting for the second round. You need to crochet a DC3 bobble. Continue from the previous yarn tail. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain for the double crochet. This beginning chain counts as 1 double crochet. It should correspond to the starting single crochet from the previous round. In the same position below, work an unclosed double crochet. Yarn over. And insert into the corresponding single crochet below. At this point, place the starting yarn tail above the hook. And weave it as you crochet. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and pull through the first 2 loops. You now have 2 loops remaining on the hook. This is an unclosed double crochet. In the same stitch, work another unclosed double crochet. Yarn over again. Insert the hook. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through in once. This completes the DC3 bobble. Because it starts with a beginning chain, the crochet technique is a bit special. Work 3 chains as a transition. Then pick up the next single crochet. Crochet a DC3 bobble. First, work 3 unclosed double crochets. One, 2, 3. Then yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. This completes the DC3 bobble. Continue onward. Work 3 chains as a transition. Then pick up the single crochets accordingly. Correspondingly crochet DC3 bobble into each stitch. Between the DC3 bobble, work 3 chains as a transition. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting. Finish with the last DC3 bobble, followed by 3 chains. Then pick up the first DC3 bobble in the left chain space. Right here, crochet a slip stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. And pull through all the loops on the hook. To complete the slip stitch, pull tight. This completes the second round. For the subsequent colored motif 1, you need to break the yarn. Here, I'll demonstrate the method to break the yarn. Note that for solid color versions, there's no need to break the yarn. First, crochet a chain to secure. Leave a little yarn tail. Break the yarn. Pull tight. This yarn tail can be woven in the subsequent crocheting. The remaining yarn tail from the magic ring can be cut off. Move on to crochet the third round. For the colored motif 1, you need to join the yarn. Here, I'll use the previous small sample, where I broke the yarn, to demonstrate the method to join the yarn. For the solid color motif 1, simply continue using the previous yarn tail, and keep crocheting. Pick up the new color you need. Make a slip knot. Then insert the hook into the hole where you previously broke the yarn. Note that for the first 2 rounds, the side with neat stitch texture should face you. This is the right side of the motif. Draw the loop through. Make a small adjustment. Now the yarn is joined. From now on, the method for solid color and colored motifs is the same. Start with 3 chains. Then pick up the large space of the chain. Crochet 2 unclosed double crochets. For colored motifs, pay attention to weaving in the ends as you crochet. After completing, yarn over and draw through all the loops in once. Complete a DC3 bobble. Then chain 3 as a transition. In the same space, make another DC3 bobble. After completing, skip the DC3 bobble from the previous round. Pick up the adjacent space, crochet a DC3 bobble. Follow with 3 chains as a transition. In the same space, make another DC3 bobble. Continue picking chain spaces. In each space, crochet a DC3 bobble on either side. Between the DC3 bobble, there are 3 chains as a transition. Here, between 2 adjacent spaces with DC3 bobble, there is no chain transition. Follow this method to finish the remaining part. After completing the last space, go down to the first DC3 bobble and slip stitch in the space on its left. Pull tight. For the colored motif 1, you need to break the yarn here. For solid colors, don't cut the yarn. I'll demonstrate the method for breaking the yarn again. It's simple, so I won't go into detail. This completes the 3rd round. Next, we will crochet the 4th round. For the colored motif 1, join the new color yarn as needed. For solid colors, continue crocheting with the previous yarn directly. Here, I'll demonstrate the method for joining the yarn again. The method is simple, so I won't go into detail. Here, join the yarn directly in the hole where you previously broke the yarn. After completing, make 2 chains. This is the beginning chain for half double crochet. These 2 chains count as 1 half double crochet. In the same hole, crochet 1 more half double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over and draw through. You will have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and draw through once. 1 half double crochet is now complete. Continue making double crochets in this position. Start with an unclosed double crochet. Then yarn over, and pull through the remaining 2 loops on the hook. This completes the double crochet. I'll demonstrate one more time. Start with an unclosed double crochet. Then yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on the hook. This completes the double crochet. Then make 1 chain as a transition. And in the same space, work stitches that are symmetrical to the first 4 stitches. First, make 2 double crochets. Then make 2 half double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. This completes the half double crochet. Make another half double crochet. Here, I treat the stitches in one space as a petal. Continue crocheting petals downwards. Pick up the adjacent chain space and make 2 half double crochets. Two double crochets. One chain. 2 double crochets. Two half double crochets. This completes the petal. Then pick up the chain spaces and work petals correspondingly. Finish crocheting the remaining part. After completing the last petal, slip stitch in the beginning chain of the first petal. Find the second chain of the beginning chain. Pick up the 2 strands at its edge. Insert the hook. Work a slip stitch. Pull tight. Since the starting position changes for the next round, both the solid color and colored motifs need to be fastened off here. Weave in the yarn tails to the wrong side of the piece. You can weave in a few extra stitches for security. Trim any remaining yarn tails from previous weaving. This completes the 4th round. Now, continue to crochet the 5th round. Starting from this round, we will be crocheting in a square shape. You need to work 4 sides and 4 corners. Begin by locating any petal and find the centered chain space. Insert the hook. Then, for the colored motif 1, join the new color yarn. For the solid color motif 1, continue with the same yarn used in the previous rounds. After completing, start with a chain. In the same space, make one single crochet. Next, crochet 5 chains. Then pick up the next petal and find the centered chain space. Crochet a DC2 bobble. First, work 2 unclosed double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all the loops on your hook. This completes the DC2 bobble. Next, chain 2 as a transition. Then in the same position, crochet a TR2 bobble. First, work an unclosed treble crochet. Wrap the yarn twice around the hook. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. There are 4 loops on your hook. Then yarn over again, draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 2 more times. Once. And twice. You will have 2 loops remaining on your hook. This is an unclosed treble crochet. Continue with another unclosed treble crochet. Wrap the yarn twice around the hook. Insert. Yarn over and draw through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops on the hook. Repeat this 2 more times. Now you will have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over one last time and draw through all the loops on the hook. This completes the TR2 bobble. Next, make 2 chains for transition. In the same space, work another DC2 bobble. Start with 2 unclosed double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook. This completes the DC2 bobble. Here, I treat these 3 bobbles and the chains in between as one corner. Continue working down the edge. Start with 5 chains. Then pick up the centered space of the next petal. Work 1 single crochet, followed by another 5 chains. Here, the single crochet and the 5 chains on either side. This forms one edge. Next, work on the following corner. Pick up the centered space of the next petal. Start with a DC2 bobble. Chain 2 for transition. Then work a TR2 bobble. Begin with 2 unclosed treble crochets. Yarn over and draw through once. This completes the TR2 bobble. Then, chain 2 as a transition. Work another DC2 bobble. This completes this corner. From now on, you'll be working in the centered spaces of the petals. Refer to the previous method for edges and corners. Continue crocheting the remaining edges and corners. I won't go into detail after this. After completing this corner, crochet 5 chains as an interval. This finishes off this edge. Finally, at the position of the single crochet, pick up the stitch and join with a slip stitch. This is the large horizontal braid on the left. After completing, pull tight. For the colored motif 1, fasten off the yarn. For the solid colored motif 1, do not cut the yarn. This completes the 5th round. Now move on to the 6th round. For the colored motif 1, use the required colors. At the position of the single crochet, where you fastened off, pick up the same hole, where you previously joined. Join the yarn here. Then for both color schemes, start with a chain. Pick up the single crochet below, and work a single crochet. Pay attention to weaving in ends. Adjacent is the position of 5 chains. Pick up the large space of the chain. Work 5 single crochets. After completing, you'll reach the corner position. First, pick up the braid on the top right of the bobble. Work a single crochet into it. At the transition chain space of 2 chains, work 2 single crochets. Then reach the centered bobble. Pick up the stitch and work a SC3 in 1, which means working SC3 in 1. One, 2, 3. Complete the SC3 in 1. Continue downwards. Work 2 single crochets at the transition spot. For the next stitch of the bobble, make a single crochet. The corner position is now completed. Proceed to the next 5 chain positions. Correspondingly make 5 single crochets. Work single crochets in the corresponding single crochets. We've reached the next corner. Follow the same method as before. Start by making a single crochet for the next bobble. Work 2 single crochets at the transition spot. At this center bobble stitch, correspondingly work a SC3 in 1, that is, SC3 in 1. Work 2 single crochets at the transition spot. Work a single crochet for the next bobble. This completes the corner position. Follow the previous method for working the edges and corners. Continue crocheting downward. Finish with 5 single crochets. Slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull tight. The 6th round is now completed. For this colored motif 1, do not cut the yarn. Next, start crocheting the 7th round. Start with a beginning chain. Work a single crochet into the corresponding single crochet below. Then, make 3 chains as a transition. Skip the next 2 adjacent single crochets. Pick up the next single crochet. Work a single crochet. Follow with 3 chains as a transition. Skip 2 stitches. Pick up the next stitch and work a single crochet. Continue downward. 3 chains as a transition. Skip 2 stitches. Then you reach the position for SC3 in 1. Pick up the first stitch and work a single crochet. Follow with 3 chains. Skip 1 stitch. Pick up the adjacent single crochet and work a single crochet. Here, work a single crochet in the beginning and ending stitches of the SC3 in 1, skipping 1 stitch in between. Between the single crochets above, make a transition with 3 chains. Continue with another 3 chain transition. Then skip 2 stitches. Work a single crochet. Follow the method of skipping 2 stitches and working a single crochet. Make a 3 chain transition between single crochets. Keep working until you reach just before the next SC3 in 1. When you reach the corresponding position, follow the method by picking the first stitch of the 3 and work a single crochet. Then make 3 chains. Skip 1 stitch. Pick up the next stitch and work a single crochet. From now on, only at the SC3 in 1 positions. Between single crochets, leave an interval of 1 stitch for a single crochet. For all other single crochets, leave an interval of 2 stitches. Follow this method and continue working downwards. Finish with 3 chains. Skip 2 stitches. Continue down to the initial single crochets. Work a slip stitch. Pull tight. This completes the 7th round. Finally, cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail inside the piece. The method is simple. I will not repeat the demonstration. This concludes the explanation of motif 1. Next, we will learn the motif 2. Meanwhile, for the last round of each motif, you need to work and join along the side. The stitches for solid color and multicolor motifs are the same. For the multicolor motif 2, you need to cut and join the yarn at the beginning and end of the color change round. These methods have been demonstrated earlier, so I won't repeat the demonstration here. Moving on, I will use a solid color motif 2 as an example. To demonstrate the stitches for motif 2, in addition to the stitches used previously, here, we use a special bobble. Please watch as I demonstrate. First, pick up the yarn. Again, I'm using random colors here. Then, start with a magic ring. The method is the same as for motif 1, so I won't go into detail about it. After completing, make 3 beginning chains. This counts as 1 double crochet, then, work 1 chain. Then, pick up the magic ring, work 1 double crochet. One chain. Continue with 1 double crochet, 1 chain. Repeat this sequence 6 times. After completing, check your work, including the beginning chain. This round should have 8 double crochets and 8 spacing chains. Then, close the magic ring. Slip stitch in the beginning chain. Locate the third chain from the beginning chain. Pick up the 2 strands of this chain. Insert the hook and work the slip stitch. After completing, pull tight. Here, for colored motif 2, you need to fasten off the yarn. Weave in all yarn tails into the piece. For solid colors, there's no need to fasten off. This completes the first round. Next, crochet the second round. For the colored motif 2, join the yarn at the position where you previously inserted for the slip stitch, that is, in the hole above the beginning chain. Start with a chain. For the solid color motif 2, also insert the hook into the hole above the beginning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then crochet 7 chains as an interval. Skip the next double crochet and the chains on either side of it. Insert into the next double crochet behind. Crochet 1 single crochet. Chain 7 as an interval. Continue to skip the next double crochet and the chains on either side. Insert into the next double crochet behind and crochet a single crochet. Then chain 7 as an interval. Continue to skip the adjacent double crochet and the chains on either side. Crochet a single crochet in the corresponding double crochet. Then chain 7 as an interval. Finally, slip stitch into the first single crochet. Pull tight. There's no need to fasten off the yarn for colored motif 2 here. This completes the second round. Now move on to crochet the third round. Continue with the previous yarn. Crochet 2 chains directly. Then insert the hook into the single crochet below. From the same position, work a slip stitch. No need to pull tight. Crochet 3 chains as a transition. Then pick the adjacent large chain space. Crochet a DC3 bobble. Followed by 4 chains as a transition. In the same position below, crochet a special bobble. Start with an unclosed treble crochet. You can see 2 angled yarns in front of the unclosed stitch. Pick the slanted line below. Crochet 2 unclosed double crochets. Insert the hook from top to bottom. Pick up the corresponding horizontal bar, and continue crocheting. After completing, yarn over, and draw through all the loops on the hook. To finish the special bobble, continue downwards, crochet 4 chains as a transition. Then pick up the same chain space, crochet a DC3 bobble. Follow with 3 chains as a transition. Here, I treat these 3 bobbles and the chains between them as one group for this round. Pick up the adjacent single crochet. Crochet a slip stitch. For this round, except for the final slip stitch, do not pull tight the other slip stitches. Continue crocheting normally. I won't repeat this point in the following steps. After completing, chain 2. Then pick up the same position and crochet another slip stitch. Next, pick up the large space of the left side to work a group. Start with 3 chains as a transition. Then crochet a DC3 bobble. Follow with 4 chains as a transition. After completing, crochet a special bobble. Start with an unclosed treble crochet. Then pick up the first diagonal of the unclosed stitch. Crochet 2 unclosed double crochets. Finally, yarn over, and draw through once. To complete the special bobble, follow with 4 chains as a transition. Then crochet a DC3 bobble. Continue with 3 chains as a transition. This completes one group. Move to the next chain space. Crochet corresponding groups. In the single crochet, crochet 2 slip stitches. 2 chains in the middle. Following this method, continue crocheting downward. Finish the last group. Pick up the next space with 2 chains. Crochet a slip stitch. Pull tight. For colored motif 2, you need to fasten off the yarn. This completes the 3rd round. Now move on to the 4th round. The method is similar to the 5th round of motif 1. You need to crochet the edges and corners. Instead of single crochets on the sides, you will use TR2 bobble. Let me demonstrate the method. For colored motif 2, join the yarn at the previous fastening point, which is the hole where the last slip stitch was inserted. Start with 4 chains. This is the beginning chain for treble crochet. It also counts as 1 treble crochet. Then insert the hook into the same space. Crochet 1 treble crochet. First, make an unclosed treble crochet. Then yarn over and draw through the 2 loops on hook. This completes the treble crochet. Next, crochet 5 chains. Then insert into the stitch of the special bobble in the group. That is, the braid on the upper right of the special bobble. Crochet the corner. The method for this corner is the same as the corner in round 5 of motif 1. I won't go into detail about it. You can also refer to the chart for specifics. After completing, crochet 5 chains. Then insert into the space made by 2 chains. Crochet a TR2 bobble. Followed by 5 chains. Then insert into the next group's special bobble. Crochet a corner. At the back position. Insert into the spaces made by 2 chains. Crochet a T or 2 bobble with 5 chains on both sides. All corners are worked into the special bobble within the group. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting downward. Complete the last 5 chains. Pick up the stitch next to the beginning chain. That is, this braid. Crochet a slip stitch. Tighten. Colored motif 2 needs to be fastened off. This completes the 4th round. Crochet the 5th round downward. The method is identical to the 6th round of motif 1. I will not demonstrate this part here. For the solid color motif, continue crocheting directly from the previous yarn tail. For the colored motif, join yarn at the fasten off point. Then proceed with crocheting. Do not cut the yarn after completing this round. Refer to the previous demonstration and the chart. Complete this round on your own. After completion, start crocheting the 6th round. This round requires crocheting and joining as you go. When joining the first row of motifs, only one side is joined. Here, I will demonstrate the joining method using motif 2. For easier explanation, I will refer to the position of SC3 as the corner. The space between these is considered a side. On this side, you need to connect 2 corners and 1 side. First, follow the method of the 7th round of motif 1. Crochet up to just before the first corner position. When you reach the corresponding position, start joining the corner. Insert into the first of the 3 single crochets. Make a single crochet. Then crochet 1 chain. Next, pick up the adjacent motif. Bring the 2 motifs together with the wrong sides facing each other. Ensure the motif you are currently working on is facing you. Then insert the hook into the corresponding corner position, which is the SC3 is. Insert the hook into the chain space above. Make a single crochet. Then crochet 1 chain. This joins the corner positions. Next, insert into the 3rd of the 3 single crochets. Make a single crochet. You can see that this is similar to the previous corner position. Where you inserted into the 1st and the 3rd of the 3 single crochets. To make a single crochet, with 3 chains between. Change to 1 chain. 1 single crochet to join. 1 chain. This is also the method used for subsequent joining. To join downwards along this edge. Start with one chain. Then join with the adjacent motifs. Corresponding chain space. By working a single crochet, followed by one chain. Go back to the front motif. Skip 2 stitches and make a single crochet. Continue to skip 2 stitches and work single crochets respectively. Work the joining stitches between the single crochets to join with the adjacent motif. The method is simple. I won't go into further details. After completing the joining along this edge, follow the corner joining method downwards to join this corner. Now, the 2 corners and 1 edge on this side have been joined. For the remaining edges and corners below, no joining is needed. Simply follow the method used for the last round of motif 1 to continue crocheting. The method is simple, so I won't go into further details. After completing, join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail inside the piece. This completes the 6th round. The method for motif 2 has been explained. At the same time, the joining method for one side of the motif has also been covered. Next, we will learn the motif 3. Similarly, the outer edge needs to be worked and joined simultaneously. The stitches for both solid color and multicolor motifs are the same. However, for the multicolor motif 3, rounds 2-3 require color changes within a single round. For the following demonstration, I will use the multicolor motif 3 as an example. I will demonstrate the stitches. For the solid color motif 3, follow the corresponding stitches. Crochet each round directly. In addition to the stitches used previously, this motif also uses TR4 bobble, DC 3-in-1, and the CH3SL picket. Please watch my demonstration. First, pick up the yarn. Start the first round. The method is identical to the first round of motif 1. It's relatively simple. I will skip the demonstration for this part. Please complete the first round on your own. After completing, start crocheting the second round. Use the previous yarn end. Start with 3 beginning chains. Count it as 1 double crochet. Then into the single crochet, where the slip stitch was made. Crochet 2 double crochets. For the second double crochet, you need to change colors. First, crochet 1 double crochet. While crocheting, pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail. Then work an unclosed double crochet. Next, pick up the color you need to switch to. Make a slip knot. Draw the yarn through. Adjust slightly. This completes the color change. And also completes the double crochet. For convenience in explanation, I will refer to the previous yarn as color 1. The next color to switch to is color 2. Here, add a beginning chain. In one position, work 3 double crochets. This is the DC 3-in-1. Because it starts with a beginning chain. It's a bit special. Continue to pick up adjacent stitches. Work a DC 3-in-1. That is, work 3 double crochets in one stitch. On the third stitch, you need to change colors. First, work 2 stitches. While crocheting, place the color 1 and the short yarn tail above the hook. Carry the yarn along as you crochet, weaving in the short yarn tail. For the third stitch, work an unclosed double crochet. Then pick up color 1. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. To complete the double crochet, at the same time, complete the color change. Also finish the DC 3-in-1. Continue downward, using color 1 to make a DC 3-in-1. While crocheting, carry color 2 along. Pay attention to changing colors on the third stitch. After completing the color change, continue downward using color 1 and color 2. Alternately making DC 3-in-1. All color changes are made on the third stitch of the 3. At the same time, carry the color you're changing from while crocheting. Continue crocheting downward. Here, for the last DC 3-in-1. Change colors on the final stitch as well. After completing, slip stitch into the third chain of the beginning chain. Pick 2 strands from edge for a slip stitch. Tighten it. For the next round, continue to alternate crocheting with these 2 colors. Don't cut the yarn. For this solid color motif 3, directly use the yarn from the previous round and crochet a round of DC 3-in-1. This completes the second round. Next, work the third round. Use the yarn from the slip stitch of the previous round, which is color 1. Start with 4 chains. Then, crochet TR4 bobble. First, pick up the hole from the beginning chain. This is where you previously inserted for the slip stitch. Work an unclosed treble crochet. Pay attention to carrying color 2 while crocheting. After completing, pick up the adjacent double crochet. The stitch here is slightly puckered. Pick up the top 2 loops. Crochet 2 unclosed treble crochets. Be mindful of carrying the yarn. Continue downwards. Pick up the adjacent stitch on the left. Crochet and unclosed treble crochet. At this point, there should be 5 loops on your hook. Yarn over, draw through once. The TR4 bobble is now complete. You can see that the 4 stitches have been merged into one. And it correctly picks up here. Inserting into the position for a DC 3-in-1. At the beginning and end, you have crocheted 1 unclosed stitch each. Crochet 2 unclosed stitches in the center. Then crochet a CH3SL picket. I simply call it a picket. First, crochet 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the first chain. Of these 3 chains, with this strand, work a slip stitch. No need to tighten it. The slip stitches for picots do not need to be tightened. This completes the picket. Next, crochet 4 chains. Then pick up the TR4 bobble, the insertion point of the last stitch, which is the stitch below. Pick up this stitch and work a slip stitch. Here you need to change colors while crocheting. First, insert your hook. Pick up color 2. Yarn over and draw the yarn through. Complete the slip stitch. This completes the color change. The slip stitch here does not need to be tightened. Consider the started 4 chains, the TR4 bobble, the picket on top, and 4 more chains behind, ending with the slip stitch below as one group for this round. Continue crocheting the group down. Slip stitch into the adjacent position. Use color 2 for crocheting. Do not tighten the slip stitch, then crochet 4 chains, followed by a TR4 bobble. First, pick the hole where the slip stitch was inserted, and crochet an unclosed treble crochet. Pay attention to carrying the yarn. Then pick the adjacent stitch on the left, and crochet 2 more unclosed treble crochets. Then pick the next adjacent stitch, and crochet another unclosed treble crochet. Finally, yarn over and draw through once to complete the TR4 bobble. Similarly, pick the position for the DC 3-in-1. and then crochet a picket. Start with 3 chains. Then pick up the front loop of the first chain. Crochet a slip stitch to finish the picket. Then crochet 4 chains. And pick the insertion point of the last stitch of the previous TR4 bobble, and crochet a slip stitch. At the same time, switch colors. This completes the second group. You can observe that all groups are crocheted above the corresponding colors. Using the corresponding yarn to crochet, continue downwards, picking the DC 3-in-1. Crochet the groups correspondingly, and for specific insertion positions, refer to the previous motifs or the chart. When crocheting the last slip stitch of the motif, make sure to switch colors. Carry the yarn while crocheting. And I won't go into further detail from here on. Continue crocheting downwards. For the last slip stitch of the final group, there's no need to switch colors, just continue crocheting. Since the starting position changes in the next round, whether it's a multicolored or solid color motif, you need to fasten off the yarn. First, fasten off the current yarn. And for the other yarn end, leave a little bit before cutting it off. You can then weave the yarn tails directly inside the piece. This completes the third round. Next, we'll crochet the fourth round. The method is the same as the fifth round of motif 1. You need to crochet the edges and corners. The stitches for the edges and corners are also the same, but the insertion points are slightly different. Start by finding any group's picket. Insert the hook into its center hole. Then pick up the color you need to switch to. And join the yarn. Then, start with a single crochet. Follow this with 5 chains. Next, pick up the picket in the next group. Crochet the corner. Refer to motif 1 or the chart for specifics. I won't go into further detail here. Similarly, insert the hook into the center hole. After completing, crochet 5 chains as an interval. Pick up the next group. Specifically, the center hole of the picket. Crochet a single crochet. Then, chain 5 as an interval. This completes this edge. For the single crochets of corners and the edges below, always pick up the center hole of the picket in the group. I won't go into further detail after this. Follow the previous method. Continue crocheting downward. Finish with the last 5 chains. This completes the beginning of this edge. Finally, slip stitch in the single crochet. Pull tight. This completes the 4th round. For the colored motif 3, cut the yarn. For the solid color, don't cut the yarn. Next, crochet the 5th round. The method is identical to the 6th round of motif 1. I won't demonstrate this part here. For the solid color, continue using the same color to crochet. For the colored sections, join the yarn at the cutoff point. Refer to the previous demonstration and the chart. Finish this round on your own. After completing, crochet the 6th round. The method is identical to the 6th round of motif 2. You need to work and join simultaneously. Similarly, only join one side. That is, join 2 corners and one side. Here, I will demonstrate the joining method again. The stitches for joining are all the same. It's relatively simple. I won't go into detail. Start with a beginning chain. Work single crochets and chains. Continue until just before the corner on the right side. When you reach the corresponding position, pick up the previous motif. Here, you need to join this edge and these 2 corners with the adjacent motif's edge and 2 corners. This is the other side. That was not joined earlier. Place the motifs with their wrong sides together. Ensure that the edges and corners to be joined are aligned. Start by joining the corners. After completing, join the corresponding edges. Then move on to join the next corner. This completes the joining of one side of the motif. Continue crocheting following the method used for the 7th round of motif 1. Once completed, join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail inside the piece. This completes the explanation of the 6th round of motif 3. One side has also been joined simultaneously. At this point, the 3 types of motifs have been fully explained. Moving forward from the first row, regardless of which motif you are joining, only one side is joined, and it is joined to the opposite side. That is symmetrical to the side already joined. Pay attention to the direction and ensure it is correct. The joining method is the same for all. It's relatively simple. I won't continue with the demonstration here. Refer to the chart, and based on your preference, join the corresponding number of motifs in the first row. Next, I will demonstrate the method for joining the motifs in the second row. The placement of the motifs remains flexible here. You can adjust according to your preference. I will demonstrate the method using a small sample. My sample has fewer motifs, and their positions are flexible. Here, I will join them from left to right. When joining the first motif in the second row, you also join just one side, based on its position. Join the bottom side. Let me demonstrate the method. First, pick up the corresponding motif, and crochet until you reach the right corner. Then join it to the side of the motif in the previous row that needs to be joined, matching the sides and corners. First, join this corner to this side. The joining stitch is the same. When you reach the second corner, which was already joined once before, continue using the same method. Here, pick the previously joined single crochet, inserting into 2-3 threads along the edge and crocheting. After joining the second corner, continue crocheting according to the method used in the last round of the motif. Finally, finish with a slip stitch and fasten off the yarn. The method is simple, so I won't demonstrate further. This completes the explanation of joining the first motif. Next, we will connect the second motif. Here, you need to join these two sides, which means joining 3 corners and 2 edges. Let me demonstrate the method. Start by working single crochets and chains until you reach the first corner. Then, join it to the corresponding corner. Next, join the following edge. When you reach the next corner, when inserting the hook for the single crochet here, pick up the same insertion point where the adjacent motif single crochet was worked, that is this spot. This completes the joining of the second corner. Continue joining the next edge. When you reach the third corner, for the joining single crochet here, pick up 2-3 strands from the same edge where the previous single crochet was worked. After completing, do not join the remaining part. Simply follow the method used in the last round for crocheting. Finally, join with a slip stitch and cut the yarn. I will not continue demonstrating beyond this point. This completes the explanation of joining the second motif. For the motifs in this row and onward, the joining method is the same as for the second motif. You need to join 3 corners and 2 edges when joining the second and third corners. If you encounter previously joined single crochets, pick up 2-3 strands from them. Join the edge. For the single crochets that were not previously joined, simply pick up the corresponding chain spaces and join. The method is quite simple, so I won't demonstrate further. Refer to the charts, and based on your preference, complete the joining of the remaining motifs in this row. For the motifs in the following rows, the joining method is the same as for the second row. These methods have been demonstrated before, so I won't go into detail here. Complete the necessary joining on your own. Up to this point, the explanation of joining the motifs is completed. Next, we will crochet the edging. Crochet in rounds along the edges of the joined motifs. In addition to the stitches used earlier, this part also uses a DC4 bobble. Please watch as I demonstrate. I will demonstrate using a small sample. First, crochet the first round. Pick up the corresponding yarn. Refer to the chart. Place the motif with the right side facing you. Locate any corner motif at its top right, in the unjoined corner position. pick up the center stitch of a chain of 3. Insert into 2 strands at the edge of this chain. Insert the hook. Join the yarn. Then make 3 beginning chains. This counts as 1 double crochet, then work a chain interval. Next, pick up the position of an adjacent single crochet, insert the hook into its stitch, work 1 double crochet. Make 3 chains. Work another double crochet in the same space. Here, I treat the double crochets on either side of a position with the centered 3 chains as 1 double crochet group. Continue downwards. Work a chain interval. Then skip the adjacent chain space. Pick up the position for a single crochet, make 1 double crochet. Work 1 chain interval. Continue to skip the chain space. Pick up the single crochet to work the double crochet group, which is 1 double crochet, followed by 3 chains. 1 double crochet, complete the double crochet group, then pick up the single crochets respectively, working 1 double crochet, followed by 1 double crochet group, repeating this sequence once. Between the double crochets and the groups, there is a chain interval each time. After completing, continue with 1 chain interval. Then pick up the next single crochet to make a double crochet. 1 chain interval. Pick up the next single crochet and make a double crochet. Follow with 3 chains. Then move down to the connection position of the motif. Skip this position and pick up the next motif. At the corner position, work a single crochet, then make 1 double crochet. The stitch here is similar to the double crochet group, but the 2 double crochets are worked in different positions. Here, I call this a special double crochet group. Continue to pick up the single crochets, working 1 double crochet, followed by 1 double crochet group. Repeat this sequence twice. The double crochet has chains on both sides as intervals. After completing, continue with 1 chain interval. Then pick up the next single crochet and make a double crochet. Follow with 1 chain interval. Then you reach the connection positions on either side. Work the special double crochet group. Start by picking up the single crochet on the right side. Crochet 1 double crochet. Make 3 chains. Then pick up the single crochet on the left side. Crochet a double crochet. This completes the special double crochet group. Moving forward to the top of the motif. Continue with 1 double crochet, followed by 1 group repeat, alternate crocheting. At the connection position, pick up the single crochets on either side. Crochet the special double crochet group. Pay attention. Only at the connection positions, crochet the special double crochet group. For the rest, crochet the normal double crochet group. Between the groups and double crochets, leave one chain as an interval. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting until just before the corner at the edge. When you reach the corner position, continue crocheting downward following the stitch sequence. According to the method, crochet the double crochet group next. Pick up the single crochet and correspondingly crochet into it. Then make one chain as an interval. Next, pick up the centered chain from 3 chains. Pick up the 2 strands of yarn at the edge. Make 1 double crochet. Follow with 1 chain as an interval. Then pick up the adjacent single crochet and crochet the double crochet group. When you encounter a corner position later, you need to crochet into the centered chain. For the rest, crochet into the single crochets. And for each corner center, it should be exactly the double crochet. Continue downward following the stitch sequence. Keep crocheting downward. Finish crocheting the remaining part. Let me emphasize this again. For the connection point, crochet a special double crochet group. When you reach the starting corner position, continue crocheting the double crochet group according to the method. Crochet accordingly. Then make 1 chain. Next, slip stitch into the top chain from the beginning chains. Pull tight. This completes the first round. Now move on to the second round. Start with 3 chains. Then pick up the hole above the previous beginning chain. Crochet 3 unclosed double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. This creates a DC4 bobble. Because it starts with a beginning chain, it is a bit special. Continue downwards and crochet a picket. The method is the same as the picket in motif 3. I won't go into detail. After completing, crochet 3 chains as an interval. Pick up the chain space of the adjacent double crochet group. That is, in this space with 3 chains. Crochet a single crochet. followed by another 3 chain interval. Then crochet a picket. Make sure not to pick up the wrong position when making the picket. After completing, pick up the next standalone double crochet below. Crochet a DC4 bobble. Work 4 unclosed double crochets respectively. Then yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook once. Next, crochet a picket. Followed by a 3 chain interval. Pick up the double crochet group below in the chain space of 3 chains and crochet a single crochet. The method for this round is as follows. Pick up in the chain space of 3 chains from the group. Correspondingly, make a single crochet with 3 chain intervals on both sides of the single crochet. Then pick up at each individual double crochet position. Crochet a DC4 bobble. On both sides of the bobble, crochet a picket each. Here the picket connects with the chains. Repeat this process to complete this round. Pay attention to this special double crochet group. It also involves picking up in the chain space of 3 chains. Crochet a single crochet. After completing the last single crochet in the chain space, continue onward and crochet 3 chains. Then a picket. Moving down to the starting bobble position. Pick up at the stitch above it on the right side. And crochet a slip stitch. It can be either tightened or left loose. Finally, cut the yarn. Weave the yarn tail inside the piece. This completes the explanation for the second round of edging. The entire edging section has now been covered. Lastly, attach the buttons. Place the longer side of the piece horizontally. Then on either side, or in diagonal positions. Sew on the buttons. Here, I'll demonstrate the sewing method using a small sample. For actual use, you would use the yarn from the edging. To make it easier to see, I'm using a different color for the demonstration. Take about 15 centimeters of yarn, thread it through the needle, then place the button centered on the corner edge. And sew it on. There's no specific requirement for the sewing method, just make sure it's sewn securely. You can sew through a few times for extra security. After completing, tie off the beginning and ending yarn tails on the wrong side. Weave any excess tails inside the piece. And that's how to attach one button. The method for the other button is the same, so I won't repeat the demonstration on this side of the button. The chain spaces will serve as the buttonholes. The buttonholes might be tight at first, but they will loosen up after a few uses. That concludes the explanation on how to attach buttons. Up to this point, the entire process of the blanket has been covered. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next episode.